I just spent the last 5 minutes, like, battling with my mind. I was like, should I open the sunroof or should I not? Because I decided to, because it was so hot my eyes were watering and I looked like I was crying. But when I opened the car door, I swear like 5 mosquitoes flew off the door and like sort of like buzzing around my face. And I'm terrified of mosquitoes. In the office, there's like this big white wall right next to where I sit, and it's usually got like 4 mosquitoes on it, like every morning, and now it's got 4 smudges on it every day, and I always clean them off with tissues. Gross. I don't like being half allergic to mosquitoes, because when I get a bite, it'll go from like this to like this in like half an hour, and it'll stay like that for ages. Like once I got a bite on my ankle and I couldn't actually bend my ankle, like point my toes up, because I just felt like it was gonna pop. It was so creepy. But then the next day, just it won't be there ever, and like it won't even itch, so it'll be like really itchy for like 3 hours and it'll be unbearable, and then after that it just disappears, and then I kind of just have this dark red mark on like my leg or wherever for like the next few weeks, and people are like, what happened to your leg? Did you get beaten up? And I'm like, nope, unless like you say I got beaten up by mosquitoes. But no, mosquitoes are better than bees, I guess, because you can take an antihistamine for a mosquito, whereas a bee just hurts. And same with like wasps and hornets and all the scary ones. And like at least I've researched mosquitoes, so I understand them a bit more. But I don't really know anything about the other bugs, and they kind of scare me. I'd rather a mosquito land on my arm than a spider, that is for sure. Oh, the other day, I was driving and I was coming out, and I was about to turn right, and in Australia, that means you're going across 2 lanes of traffic, and so I was like, keeping a check, looking out for cars, then there's no cars coming, and then there's one car coming really slowly from that way, so she's just coming along, and then I realized she's turning, and I was like, that means I can go, because there's no other cars. And as soon as I start to go, like, I had the window open, like, this much, because it was really hot, and this, I don't know, something just flew in, and it was like, whoop, and just hit me on the side of the head, and there was a tree next to the car, so like its own bug flew through the window, hit me in the side of the head, and I was just like, yeah! And like when you're turning a corner, you don't want to be going, hurrah! Because the car kind of goes, goosh, and then like, luckily I recovered quite quickly, because I smacked my side of my head and it disappeared. I don't know where it went, but Troy was in the car with me. And I was like, where is it? Kill it. What was it? I don't even know what it was, but kill it. And he turns around and he just like takes off one of his shoes and he just like starts smacking something in the back seat. And I'm like, oh God. And he's like, I don't know what it was, but it's dead now. And I'm like, thank God. And he's like, and I killed the spider too. I'm like, what? What spider? And apparently there was like a little spider just like right next to where his shoe was. Like, so as he took it off, he was like, smack. And then turned around and killed the ones in the backseat. And in Australia, you gotta worry about bugs, because I think everyone knows that in Australia, everything's trying to kill you. And I think that is true. I think that if they had their way, they would kill us all. I feel like I'm crawling in bugs. The other night, I actually had a night terror, and I woke up, and I was half awake. I was in like the twilight zone of being awake, and I looked up at the ceiling, and then this little hole just like burst, and then there was like, it was kind of like scarabs in the Mummy, except these were like gold and brown and black and like only like this big each, and they all kind of just burst out of the ceiling, and then they coated the whole ceiling, these little brown orbs of beetles and bugs, and then they started like all falling off, like little bits just falling off onto me like while I was in bed. And so I just sat up and I started shaking it all off and started like brushing them all off my leg, freaking out. And then I just like sit up, eyes wide open, just smack Troy. I'm like, Troy, get up, run, the bugs will get you. And I just, like 2 seconds later, I was in the kitchen and I was still shaking around, getting all the bugs off me. And then 2 seconds later, Troy comes out and he's like, what? And I'm like, it's okay. I was having a nightmare. Sorry, you can go back to bed. I was having a nightmare. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, standing there, kind of not wanting to go to bed. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't want to go to bed. There's bugs on the ceiling. I know it was a nightmare, but I'm still scared. And he's like, okay. And he goes, he's like pretty much sleepwalking at this point, poor guy. He goes in, flicks on the light, and then looks. He's like, nope, no bugs. There was no bugs. There was a very disgruntled cat, though, because my cat sleeps at my feet at night, and I spasmed, kicked around a bunch, and then jumped out of the bed. So when I came back, I was like, I'm sorry, Shaggy, I didn't mean to. And then I just cuddled him. I don't think he really cared, because he purred like a jet engine like 5 seconds later, so I think altogether it was absolutely terrifying, but it didn't really affect anyone except for my brain. But I haven't had any more nightmares about bugs, but maybe that's why I freaked out so much when one hit me in the side of the head. It's not the only thing that's hit me in the side of the head. Australia, why do your creatures like hitting me in the side of the head? Once I was walking along, going to the bus stop, this bird flew, landed its feet in the side of my head and started flapping its wings in my face, and I had like long hair at this point, so it got all knotted up, and it was like a magpie, so it was like decently sized. It was just like attacking me with its beak and like flapping its wings in my face, and yeah, I freaked that out, and it's like poof, and then it was gone. And so yeah, I don't really like magpies either. They swoop. Everyone always said that they swoop, but I'd never been swooped until then, so I haven't been swooped since either, because I stay away from them. I stay very far away from them. There's actually these little birds around my work, and they're like, I swear they're retarded. They're called wagtails, and they just bob along, and then their butt's like whoop, 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 and they've got like this really long tail, and it just sits there doing this like all the time. It's just these like 3 feathers that are really long, and like they'll jump up into the wall of the building and then like kind of just like whoo, 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 and just try to get as high as they can instead of just flying and landing on top of the building. I don't think they can fly long distance, which is really bad because they always like to sit on top of the building. And then quite often I'll be sitting in the car for the lunch break and it'll come and sit on the top of the roof and it'll just like look at me through the sunroof, just wagging its butt. And they're so cute. I think they're called willy wagtails, which just, it doesn't sound right. But anyhow, I have my hair in a ponytail today, but it probably looks like I just don't have hair, because my ponytail is like the shortest, tiniest thing you'll ever see. I've got extensions at home, but they're platinum blonde, so I've got to dye them. Yeah, so hopefully tomorrow my hair will be better. If I make a video tomorrow, I probably will. Anywho, I'm gonna read now, so I'll talk to you later. Bye!